All right. Trying to get this stream set up here to trying to set this stream up to go live to do YouTube and TikTok at the same time. So have no idea if this is going to work. So don't hate me too much, but got a computer down here in front of me. I've got an iPad and I've got TikTok going. So hopefully this works out. But today, obviously, on the TikTok channel, I do a lot of you make the call and some rules and all that stuff. And so I wanted to talk about today, however, was if you're into college baseball, there's a big lineup out there for you in store today. So I was on here live talking probably, I don't know, it was before the season started. And I did a little bit of, who I thought had a good chance to make it to Omaha, and then some sleepers. And then we were talking about, who could win their conference and who could, make a deep run. And so today, just wanted to take a look at a few things. At noon, one of the teams that I thought had a real good chance to make a run out of the SEC was Tennessee. And Tennessee's got a lot of pitching. They're really deep on their pitching staff. But Tennessee plays Albany today at 2:00. They're at home. Most of the Power Five teams that are playing are going to be playing at home. That's just how it works early in the season. And there's not a whole lot of Power Five matchups going on right now. You've got a lot of mid majors making some trips to play some Power Fives. And you know what? Some mid majors are actually doing some good stuff. One of the teams that I picked out of the ACC. Yeah, I know. I'm a homer. I went there for a little while, and it's about, I don't know, 10 miles from where I'm sitting right now is the University of Louisville. Man, my Cards took a beating at the beginning of the year, right? Like, they were 0-4 to start the season. And they had some bad losses, not that these teams are bad, but, Xavier just crushed them. And then yesterday they lose to St. Bonaventure. And St. Bonaventure, they looked like a pretty good program, but they were talking about how this is the biggest win in St. Bonaventure history and all of these different things. And Louisville they looked flat. That definitely doesn't look like a team that Dan McDonald normally puts out. And so they lost 4-3 in the first game of a doubleheader yesterday. Louisville Cardinals did. And then they came back in the second game. They had basically a different lineup. I'm not sure if Coach McDonald and Coach Snyder and Vrabel and them got together and said, "Hey, we're gonna mix up this lineup and try to get it energized after starting 0-4," or if it was just planned because it was the second game of a doubleheader. No idea what was going on there. But then the Cards came out in the second game, got their first win of the year, and took care of business like 20-2. Pitt is it. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to read the comments on YouTube and on TikTok as well. Yeah, Pitt. So let's see, Pitt. What time do they play today? Are they ranked in the top? I've just got the top 25 schedule up here. I don't see Pitt listed as in the top 25. I'm not saying they're not legit, but I don't have them here in the top 25. So when does Pitt play, and who do they play? I'll obviously be able to look that up. But LSU plays Northern Illinois at 2:00. LSU's ranked number 3. They're always deep. Now, the thing with LSU, they've lost obviously two of their big components, right? Skeens and Dylan Cruz. So, what are they going to look like this year? It's impossible to do a full college baseball rundown, and you really don't even know what you're getting at the beginning of the year in college baseball, just because, you see a few things. Okay, like for instance, Louisville, it's a team I follow a lot. They started off 0-4. Well, they shouldn't have done that, right? They were playing mid-majors, and normally teams like that take care of business. But pitchers are on limited pitch counts. You're still changing up the lineup. And I will tell you, with the transfer portal, usually when you would watch these teams play, these kids were here for a long time. It was a lot of brand new kids on Louisville that I was watching. I follow them a lot. And like Logan Beard's there for a long time. JT Benson's there for a long time. McCoy's there, and then there's some local kids that I just happen to know, like Corbin Dickerson and Matt Klein at Louisville. And so they're there, but they've got a lot of new names that you got to get familiar with. And every time it's, they're no different. It's, transfer from here. So that's going to get, it takes time to gel as a team when a lot of people are new. But anyways, so you've got number 3, LSU playing at 2:00 against Northern Illinois. If anyone wants to talk about any of these teams, feel free to, ask questions. I'm not the all-knowing of any of this stuff, but maybe you can chime in. Maybe you know something about some of these teams. Looks like a big matchup at 2:00 is a top 25 matchup of North Carolina and East Carolina. So North Carolina, East Carolina, and North Carolina is ranked 15th and East Carolina is 11th. So that looks like it could be a good matchup. Now, I have seen East Carolina play. This is a very interesting story. So there's a player on Campbell University, or is it Campbell University? Maybe it's just Campbell. His name is Grant Knipp, okay? So Grant Knipp is from Louisville, which is where I'm from. So, I know him personally and his family. Well, Grant Knipp is just a flat-out dude, okay? And he plays for Campbell. He went to Alabama, and then he transferred to Campbell. Well, Grant's a catcher, and he's got something ridiculous, like almost a 90 catcher velo, and he's just got a gun, and he hits the ball 450 feet, and he's just a dude. Well, on pro day at Campbell, he jumps on the mound. I don't know if he was just goofing off or what. He hasn't pitched since high school, and he hits 98 on the mound. And so against East Carolina, like he knew he was going to possibly get some pitching reps, so he's throwing some bullpens and stuff. We have a place here in Louisville, Smash Zone Baseball, that he goes and when he's here in town and works out with one of our catchers here. But anyways, he knew he was going to get some time on the mound, but he didn't know that he was going to go in a closing situation after he just caught 8 innings and closed out the game against East Carolina. He hit a 3-run homer for him to take the lead. Then he comes out from behind the dish to the bump and closes out the game. So that was for his very first ever time on the mound in college. Unbelievable. So I've seen East Carolina play. They're good. So expect that to be a good game, and that's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Clemson, number 10, takes on Kennesaw State. Let's see. Pitt is playing Maryland today. Okay, so I did see Maryland play. So one of the schools that I picked to win their conference, and I'm going to try to wear some swag from different schools. And it's probably going to be mid-majors because, it's easy to jump on a bandwagon. But so I'm wearing a Mount St. Mary's baseball shirt today. And I picked them to win their conference. They're off to a 1-3 start, I think. But they actually played Maryland. Mount St. Mary did. So I saw Maryland play. And Mount St. Mary gave them a pretty good game. Again, it was a midweek game. So Maryland was probably pitching their midweek guy. And again, I don't know all the backstory on all that, but Maryland had some good bats, and Mount St. Mary hung with them. They just had 2 bad innings, and so I think Maryland put up 2 different innings with 6 runs. But other than that, the Mount hung with them really well. So we'll see. That does sound like a pretty good game, though, Pitt and Maryland. I don't know if there's a rivalry there. I'm not really sure, but we'll see, right? So there you go. Thanks for telling me that. You've got Texas, number 16, versus Cal Poly at 2:30. Texas Tech playing Texas Southern. Duke is playing Northwestern. Now, I did see Duke play, and in the preseason from D1 Baseball, they were talking about they weren't sure about Duke offensively. Well, I saw Duke play, and I forgot who they were playing. I think it maybe was George Mason, maybe. But it was early in the year, and Duke hit like 5 homers in 1 inning. I mean, they were just absolutely punishing the baseball. And so it's a small sample size on any of this stuff, but Duke looked like they they really had some dudes there. Number 17, Alabama is playing Valpo at 3. Vandy's playing Gonzaga. Anybody know about Gonzaga baseball? I have no idea. We obviously know about their baseball or their basketball team, but I don't know anything about their baseball team. But Vandy, always a perennial powerhouse. So we'll see what they got going on. We've got Indiana right up the road here. So Indiana's ranked 23. They're playing Baylor at Baylor. So number 23, this is another Power 5 matchup. Number 23, number 23, Indiana hits the road to play Baylor. You'll see that a lot too, where a lot of the teams, in the either Midwest or the Northeast or wherever, the colder weather teams, they'll try to get a little bit more south earlier in the year. You've got number 7, Oregon State playing Michigan in Arlington at Globe Life Field. So don't really see what's going on at Globe Life Field, but that sounds like it might be a little mini tournament or something there. So you've got Michigan playing. You've got Ball State. Now, Ball State is I know a little bit about Ball State. They're a good team. They're playing number 25, Coastal Carolina. It's good to see Coastal Carolina back ranked. Everyone knows about that magical run they had back in, when was it, 16? I can't remember. When they won it all. You've got number 1, Wake Forest. Who would have ever, if we would have been having this conversation 5 years ago and said, hey, let's talk about number 1, Wake Forest, people would have thought we were crazy. But not anymore. Wake Forest is packed. I mean, they're a juggernaut. They're going to be, Wake Forest is a problem. A lot of these ACC teams are a problem. But they play Dayton. Now, Dayton, the Flyers, they've got a pretty good – they've got I'm really interested to see what Dayton can do with Wake Forest, because it's obviously Wake Forest, they're a problem. But Dayton, I'm really interested to see what they can do. Another top 25 matchup at 5 o'clock is TCU versus UCLA. Let's see how the Brew Crew going to do this year. Man, Preston, we're just talking about some college right now. I have no idea. Are you talking about the Brewers and the MLB? If so, not there yet. No idea. But if there's a Brew Crew in baseball that I'm not sure about, let me know. In college, let me know. Another good matchup here. Number 20 UCLA. Hey, what's up, Mr. Turner? How are you, sir? We're just doing a little baseball roundup talk here. So I've got YouTube Live going. If anyone wants to tune in on YouTube, the podcast on YouTube is my actual podcast, which is now live on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. It's everywhere. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can go to Fuzz and Barrels podcast. You can even ask Siri, or you can even ask Alexa just to play it. And I'm like, here, watch this. Alexa, play Fuzz and Barrels podcast. Alexa off. Have no idea if you could hear that, but how cool is that? All I got to say is that. All I got to do is say, Siri, play Fuzz and Barrels podcast on iTunes, and it'll play it. Thanks for the cap, brother. Anyway, that's pretty cool that I've got my podcast where you just ask Alexa to play it, ask Siri to play it, whatever. This morning, I'm totally off topic, but that's okay because it's my show. This morning, it was actually pretty cool. I get up every morning at 6 a.m. and I go at least 4 miles. Okay. Not all of it running. I'm not that guy, but I go 4 miles, whether it's jogging, walking, mostly walking. This morning, it was very surreal because for the first time, because I hadn't listened to the whole thing. It was about an hour podcast last night. For the first time this morning, I'm on my walk, and instead of listening to Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn or somebody or some, sales something or whatever, this morning for the first time, I listened to my own podcast. It was either on Spotify. I can't remember where I got it at, but I listened to my own hour podcast while I was out doing my workout. That was pretty damn cool, I got to tell you. So, anyways, at 5 o'clock, Kenneth Turner just joined. He's got his own podcast. Kenneth, what's your podcast? Is it The Growth Factor? I think. So shout out to Kenneth Turner. Go follow him. Looks like we've dwindled down a little bit. Maybe not a lot of people want to listen to my baseball lineup here. There was like 70 people in here when we first turned it on. So I must be getting boring. That's okay, because whatever, right? But it's also live on but that's what I was going to say. It's also live on YouTube right now under Fuzz and Barrels. So if you go to Fuzz and Barrels, just my station, it's on there too. So you can see it on there. You can see it here. Pretty soon I'm going to figure out how to click one button. I'm going to be live on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube all at the same time, because I've got my computer here. I've got the iPad here, and I'm on TikTok. So anyways, let's see. What are your thoughts on the Reds and who should be in the lineup? Man, you know what? I haven't done the MLB. Maybe I need to start doing the MLB quicker, because that's the second question I've gotten about MLB already. Don't know. De La Cruz, right? Ellie. Got to get Ellie in there, but I'll be talking MLB when we get closer to the season. We got catchers and pitchers reporting already, and we've got some. That's old news. They've already been reporting. We've got the preseason going on right now. So, anyways, so we do at 5:00 UCLA, and go follow the Growth Factor podcast as well for Kenneth Turner. Okay, at 5:00 UCLA plays TCU down in Texas. So that's another top 25 matchup. At 5, you got Kansas State and Holy Cross. And another at 5:00. It's number 18 Iowa hosting number 14 Virginia. That's going to be a fantastic game. It's in Florida, in Jacksonville. So again, I don't have a lot of information about what's going on there, but it looks like it's a little bit some sort of a tournament there, because I did just see when we talked about Globe Life Field earlier in Arlington, I see where number 2 Arkansas is playing Oklahoma State. So that must be a little tournament going on at Globe Life. I need to look up on that a little bit more. But Virginia versus Iowa at 5:00 is going to be a great game. You've got Florida and Columbia going head-to-head. Number 4, Florida. I mean, they're always tough, right? Playing Columbia at 6:00. And then some late-night games. You've got number 22 UC Santa Barbara playing Sacramento State. And that's a late game. And so I just refreshed here, and I'm not sure why. And I think there's another late game going on. But here's a game that I want everyone to try to go see, because I'm repping the school today. And I think, let me just see here. Their game yesterday. So Mount St. Mary, I picked them to win their conference. And another game I want you to watch is Campbell today. And then the University of Louisville. Those 3 games, I picked all those teams to win their conference. And with the exception of Campbell, none of them have started off strong. Louisville started off 0-4, and now they're 1-4. Mount St. Mary has started off 1-3. They had an extra inning game against Norfolk State that possibly could have went their way, but it didn't. And then they beat Norfolk State 14-4, and then they lost to them in their season opener. And then they got beat pretty good by Maryland again. That was 14-3, but that was just 2 innings that they gave up. I think a 6 spot in each of them. But today they have a doubleheader at Richmond. So Mount St. Mary's heads to Richmond today to play a doubleheader. The first game's at 10. The first game has already started, so I got to get on there. I can't believe I've already missed the start of that. It's on ESPN Network, so I've got to get off this and get onto that game, because I'm going to watch that game. I'm going to watch Campbell. I'm going to watch University of Louisville. JR said, someone just asked to join the live. So I've got a pop up there. I don't know how to decline all this. People keep asking to join. Don't ask to join. I'll invite you if I can. I can't right now though. So let's see here. What's the best way to watch college baseball? All stations just have basketball. So no, you got to get the ESPN app, and then on ESPN Plus, they have tons of college baseball in there. So I know that, for instance, I'm looking at right now. I don't have the whole lineup, but I know that the one that I'm going to watch is Mount St. Mary. They're playing on there. Then they also pick up the ACC network on there. And then there's a lot of college baseball. So you just got to get the ESPN app, and then it's on ESPN Plus. Bull riding says might be going to the Texas A&M game tonight. So that should refresh my memory. I think I just went over it. I forgot who they're playing. But I would love to be going to a college baseball game right now. Love it, love it, love it. Louisville plays at home today, so I could go out there, but I'm not gonna because it's 33 degrees in Louisville right now, and so I'm just not doing it. But 3 games to check out today. Mount St. Mary, gotta say them because I'm repping their shirt today. Campbell, okay, and University of Louisville. So check out those games. Early games are already starting. So Mount St. Mary is playing on ESPN Plus right now. So if you're wanting to watch some college baseball, get off here. Quit talking to this knucklehead me and go watch some college baseball because I'm going to sign out. Everyone that's on here, Bull Riding Umpire that's chiming in. I've got Kenneth Turner that's chiming in. Go follow those guys. They're always contributors on my any posts that I put up on You Make the Call and all that stuff. So go follow Kenneth. Go follow Bull Riding Umpire. Go follow anyone that's talking on here. And thanks for the gifts and thanks for the likes. I don't even know what all that stuff means, but I appreciate all of it. I'm sure that I think when people start liking it, then it maybe goes more viral, but there's like 6 people in here. So there was 70 when we first started. That's okay. Maybe I should have told people to start liking it when we first got on here rather than just me reading off a podcast, off a iPad. So anyways, you guys go have a great productive day. I'm going to tune on some baseball. And as always, let's go. All right. Now I'm just on YouTube. I've turned off the TikTok live because it was pretty it was getting a little crazy looking at all those pop-ups. But what I wanted to really say is college baseball right now it's fantastic to watch. I'm a little I'm not loving this transfer portal, man. I got to tell you guys, I think that it's just really, how do I say it? It's just an easy out. And I think it's an easy out for the players. I think it's an easy out for the coaches. But then it's going to be so hard to manage, man. This transfer portal, how do you manage the transfer portal? If I'm a college coach, I would go absolutely berserk with this for numerous reasons. But one, you're always recruiting your own locker room, right? You never had to do that before. You bring a kid on campus, you give him a scholarship, you take care of him. He's there for 4 years. And that's just how it goes. Now you bench him. He doesn't get as much playing time as he wants. He's like, I'm out of here. And he's gone. You got to change I couldn't do it. I don't think I could be a college coach right now. God bless you guys. You got to change your mentality because, you in the back of your mind, you have to be thinking, if I'm too hard on this guy, if I don't give him enough playing time, he might not be around for the 4 years that I need or the 2 years or the whatever next year to develop him to get him where I need him to be. And then how do you develop those long-term leaders on your team? The guys who are juniors who have been there since they were a freshman and they know the program, they know the coaches, they know the signs. The coaches at that point don't even have to be there, and there can be an effective practice run because you have freaking leaders on your team. When you're just doing nothing but the transfer portal, you don't have leaders. They don't know the culture. I'm tired of it. I'm sorry for the rant, but man, yes, if coaching staff leaves, if you have an emergency at home, there's reasons why you should be allowed to transfer. I get that. But playing time shouldn't be one of them. Hard coaching shouldn't be one of them, right? We've got to come up with a better thing than this because I'm watching some of these college baseball games, and I watched a lot of them last year, and it's a whole new lineup. I don't even know. Maybe 1 or 2 guys. And I'm like, they all didn't get drafted or graduate. Oh, transfer here, transfer here, transfer here. And then when you look at the current lineup, oh, all these people transferred in. Man, I don't know what the answer is, but how does a kid or a young man, I should say, I should stop saying kids. How does a young man who is in high school right now go to college and compete from day one? You almost have to be a 1%er because you're going to be there at 18 years old competing against 23-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, right? That are still like freshmen or sophomores because you've got all these COVID years and transfer years and you've got sitting out in red shirt. So, I mean, you've got a freshman who's 21, who's been around, and then you're an incoming freshman who's 18. I mean, good luck. Good luck. That's why everyone's like weight room, weight room, weight room, weight room, weight room. I get it, but man, the weight room isn't helping you square up a baseball. I mean, if you square it up and you hit it hard, okay, I get it. But I don't know, man. This transfer portal stuff it's wild. So anyways, go out and watch a lot of college baseball today. Have fun with it. And remember that even if your team's struggling a little bit, it's early. Pitchers are on pitch counts, all these different types of things. So, everything levels itself out on the field. So anyways, y'all have a great day. Let's go.